Local, breaking, news you can trust. This is the North State's News Daybreak.
We actually now have to move. We have to back up. The fire's moving our direction, so I need to keep moving.
We are experiencing some challenges along the 32 corridor.
This is what we're trying to get away from now. You can see that the flames have fully crossed over. Things are moving quickly.
It was scary. It's not something that I would have ever expected that we would have had to face. We've had fires up there before. They've been close, but nothing to the extent that this is.
While you were sleeping, night crews have been hard at work doing helicopter water drops on the park fire. At the glow of the blaze, it is difficult to see without color, but you can see the smoke. It's very visible from PG&E's Colby Mountain camera near Jonesville in Butte County, with that fire currently sitting at Tehama County. That fire currently sitting at 360,000 acres burned. Containment now up to 12%. And we hope you're staying safe this morning. It's the top of the hour. Thank you for choosing Daybreak for all your important wildfire information. I am Nazi Javid, and I'm joined by First Alert forecaster Preston Dunyan. We've been at work all weekend monitoring this fire. We've been at the front lines. There's a lot going on out there. Over the weekend, I went out and I was surrounded by hot spots. Let's talk about that this morning.
Yeah, it has continued to be active out there. We had a positive, kind of Saturday afternoon through Sunday morning. That was a good stretch for the fire. Those cooler temperatures raised those humidities. We got a little bit more of a handle on it. Our firefighter crews got a better handle on how things are going out there, but we're still seeing activity. Let's take you first to the spot where we're not seeing that activity. This is that south flank of the fire. Notice we have no hot spots detected out there. Certainly along Chico and kind of paralleling 99 here, at least through the Butte County portion. And then look at that for folks in places like Paradise and Magalia. Again, that hotspot activity has really wound down. And how about Forest Ranch right there on the edge of that fire perimeter? Still just seeing one hotspot. That's been a battle point for firefighters holding along 32, and as it stands right now, that looks to be a success. Again, we're keeping a close eye on that. The battle's not over, but that's been a positive element. Now we go to a little less of a positive feature. Let's talk about how that fire activity has continued a little bit further north. So right here is that Butte-Tehama County line as it kind of winds up, and there's 32. And you can see there's generally holding throughout the Butte County portions, but this is kind of that Lomo area. That's where we're seeing some activity kind of jump 32, and then it's kind of continuing along, pushing towards 32 on the Tehama County side of things. And so we've seen a lot of red hot spots, right? That recent activity, that's where that's been burning. And of course, you also see it a little bit further here along this east flank, and that's that biggest area of concern. Is the further north and east you go along the fire, that's where it's going to want to run. It's going to want to make that kind of motion, and so we are seeing that activity out there even in the overnight hours. That's where it's most prolific. We'll take you off a little bit further now to the western flank, where we have seen some activity as well. Things have been quiet up towards Manton. It did, of course, cross 36 on that Friday night into Saturday, but notice we have seen a lot of quiet activity along that end of the perimeter. Things have been more active a little bit further west, that kind of creeping down the foothills. That's what we've seen. So some push towards Dales there. And of course, you've also seen a little bit of growth in the fire as it moves towards communities along 99. You talk about Dairyville and those spots. So we are concerned about those areas, but right now, again, still some good distance and certainly efforts out to protect those communities.
Important information. Thank you, Preston. The Chico man accused of starting the park fire is being held without bail, set to be arraigned today, according to the district attorney. Butte County DA Mike Ramsey says 42-year-old Ronnie Dean Stout II is facing arson charges, accused of pushing a flaming car down a hill in Chico's Upper Bidwell Park, sparking the massive park fire blaze that would follow. The court also set to assign him a public defender at today's hearing, according to the DA's office. So far, the park fires burned more than 360,000 acres, with firefighters reaching 12% containment. This is video from the Cohasset area in Butte County. Crews have been battling the blaze day and night since Wednesday when the fire sparked. Officials say it continues to burn in very active areas with dry, heavy terrain, as you can see. According to the latest assessment, of hundreds of thousands of acres have burned. 53,000 of those acres are in Butte County. The other 306,000 have been throughout Tehama County. The chaotic nature of the park fire left CAL FIRE teams scrambling yesterday, too, after it jumped east over Highway 32, just south of the border between Butte and Tehama counties. Our Max Tedford was capturing the firefight when he got evacuated, too.
Command for the Joint Task Force had said in their morning briefing a majority of their efforts for Sunday would be focused on taking advantage of the cooler weather. Out on the highway, they put those plans into effect, with hand crews and dozers continuing the line work started Saturday and doing pre-burns on several areas on the west side of 32 north of Forest Ranch. These are actually from the hand crews that are building out these kind of fire lines. They're digging it, they're cutting away shrubbery, and then they're using that shrubbery and these fires that they're lighting themselves to burn away the fuel that the park fire could use. I joined up with CAL FIRE PIO Edwin Zuniga, who shared their goal was to push the fire back in on itself.
We're expecting the activity to kind of increase, and that fire is going to potentially impede Highway 32. So what we want to do is protect the infrastructure of Highway 32 and create that buffer between us and the fire.
However, as he took me and several other journalists to the first spot, just north of Lomo, the wind shifted and the fire took off again. You can see flames already have made it to the other side of the highway. So we actually now have to move. We have to back up. The fire's moving our direction, so I need to keep moving. After backing off, fire teams created a corridor for us. And after a bit of waiting, they got all of us out of the area so they could do what they needed. Now, as you can see, I got out safely, but it really goes to show how quickly a fire like this can change and spread. So keep aware of your zone, keep a watch out for any warnings or orders, and stay safe out there. In Chico, I'm Max Tedford for the North States News.
Teams continue to assess the extent of the damage done by the park fire. This is video of just some of the destruction left behind by the blaze. Our chief photographer, Adam McAllister, and I were out there on Saturday night near Paynes Creek. In that community, you can see just some of the destruction done. Difficult images to look at. We have learned, according to the recent damage inspection report, that now 100 homes have been confirmed destroyed, the least another 5 damaged. The numbers are expected to change, though, as they have been, with crews continuing to reassess the scene. Officials say 4,200 structures are still under threat of fire. Thousands of people across the Northstate are in either some type of evacuation order or warning, and we have a look at Tehama County's evacuation map. The area marked in dark red represents the most recent fire perimeter. Several zones in light red are under evacuation orders. Those areas include zones from the Butte-Tehama County line all the way north to the Shasta-Tehama County line, as you can see there on the map. Evacuation orders and road closures have also been issued as far north as Shingletown, as far east as Lake Almanor, then as far west as the Cottonwood area near the Coleman Fish Hatchery. We have a look at Butte County's evacuation map as well. More than a dozen areas there marked in red are under evacuation orders across the Cohasset Ridge. Several surrounding areas marked in yellow are under evacuation warnings, including the entire town of Paradise, where people continue to recover from the Camp Fire. Several evacuation centers and shelters available for evacuees and pets. In Butte County, an evacuation centers open at Neighborhood Church in Chico. Small animals can be taken to Del Oro in Oroville, and large animals can be brought to the Camelot Equestrian Park in Oroville. Tehama County, the Los Molinos Veterans Hall taking in evacuees, large animals being accepted at Ridgeway Park, as well as the Corning Rodeo grounds. These are self-serve, meaning feed, and as well as the setup needs to be provided. Small animals at 22005 Gilmore Ranch Road in Red Bluff. There's also been an evacuation resource center set up at St. Peter's Episcopal Church in Red Bluff. In Shasta County, an evacuation center has been established at Bella Vista Elementary School. Small animals can be taken to Haven Humane Society. Large animals can be taken now to Anderson High School, as Reading Rodeo grounds are full. We have all that information up on our website for you. That's krcrtv.com. You can also find a way to know your zone in both English and Spanish there as well. And for the latest breaking fire news, you should download our KRCR News app. Don't forget to turn on those push notifications, because every time something changes on the park fire, including evacuations, we publish those notifications as soon as they're released by emergency services, and we send them directly to your phone. We're 9 past the hour. Coming up on Daybreak, we continue our coverage of the park fire, taking a look at viewer-submitted photos captured of the devastating blaze.
And this morning, temperatures still running cool out there, a slight advantage when it comes to morning elements. But we'll talk more about fire weather throughout the day coming up soon.